Burks overcharge him on that spot, he's going to be a bust.
Okay, and Kevin King, now he's showed flashes, but he's injured all the
Man,
time. Okay, so okay,
OTAs hasn't even showed up healthy. Third
last
year,
year, now last year's pick, you've got Jair Alexander, Josh Jackson in the
stud.
second, and Oren Burks in the third. Now Jair again, he's shown flashes, but he was a rookie last year. We don't know what he's going to do this year. Josh
Bill
Jackson
Belichick went out of his
is
way to compliment Jair. I'll give Coward that.
right.
Jair is going to be a top corner, I think, for a while in the NFL. Jackson, he showed flashes. Burks, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, that's only two, though. I guess is my point. That's two
No,
players
I
now,
got
if
that.
you count
That's a
Jair
horrible
Alexander.
percentage.
Okay.
Horrible
Now
percentage.
and then this year, okay, you're gonna throw in the free agents who haven't played it down yet for them. So I mean, I'm high on them, but we don't know how they're gonna work in this system. They could all blow their knees out in three consecutive games and never
Don't
play.
say
So
that.
well, I'm just saying. Well, I know, knock on wood. Sorry, Packer Nation, but it's just a
You
point.
son
Like,
of a bitch.
and then he's got okay, we got Rashawn Gary, Darnell Savage, and Elton Jenkins. You know, this year. But
Dalton Jenkins is
those
offensive
players,
lineman.
oh, yeah, but it's
You're
like
talking about Kiki.
where are all these players? I'm just saying, where are all these great players? Because none of these guys this year, including the free agents, have ever played a snap.
Colbert
We
tried
don't
to
know what the
hype up the
hell they are.
defensive talent to make Rodgers look bad. That's what he did.
It's
He
so
tries to take every angle possible to make Rodgers look bad. How are you surprised by this? Why are you getting irked over Colbert when he does this every year?
I'm not surprised by it, but the reason why I choose to be this voice is because I can easily break this down because this crap is getting spewed out to millions of people across the
It
entire
is.
world.
It's millions
Okay?
every day.
And so this narrative is getting spread and there's not enough airtime being dedicated to just doing this. It took me literally 5 minutes after watching this to go through to set this up, to write some notes down, to show you and prove to you that he's full of shit. There's two, you could argue, if you put in Jair Alexander, there's two players in the last 6 years of defensive drafts in the first or second round of defensive players.
Uh-huh.
And so that's a terrible, and he said, well, nobody misses that much. He actually said that. Well, according to what I've gotten, I'm sorry, I was a Ted Thompson guy, but you start doing the math here. He missed a hell of a lot. I mean, a hell of a lot.
Way too much in the first. Yeah, second round he was solid. Third round, fourth round he had half. He had a good pattern of getting late guys at fifth and seventh rounders and even undrafted. But the first, good God, no. Oh my God, the percentage in the first round is horrid, and it always will be horrid.
Well, and I'm totally optimistic, Dave. I think I think I've made that clear. I believe Gutekunst did a great job, and I guess that's why when I turn on, and I don't even have TV. I'm kind of watching this on Pluto TV on the Fox Sports channel, and they do these little excerpts of the best, probably the most popular clips from like all the Fox Sports shows of the day. And I happened to be sitting down for a minute, and I caught that, and then I jumped on Facebook, and I made us a little recording so we could play it on the show because I thought, well, that's great content. I mean, I was trying to figure out we didn't have a guest for today, and it's like, what else are we going to talk about besides jerseys for 45 minutes?
Coherd
That's
saved us.
perfect. And so it, it's picking on Aaron because him and Aaron had some sort of beef back in like 2008 or 2009. He's
Oh
never
yeah,
gotten over it. And look, I said it last year several times. I knew Aaron wasn't playing well, but I just knew, just from being an athlete myself, you could watch him and there was something off. No, like Aaron is one of those players where he's not just going to fall off a cliff. Like I think he's going to gradually and gracefully. You're going to, and kind of the way Tom Brady is, and that's another thing. I've gotten into an argument that paying Aaron Rodgers was a huge mistake, and that that was the most asinine thing because quarterbacks. This guy on Twitter is talking about. He's followed the team for 40 years, and quarterbacks all tail off at 38, and he listed Brady, Breeze, and Favre as guys, the only guys. And it's like, no, there's been a lot of guys that play past 40 and did well. I think Montana was what, 40, 41 when he took the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game. Uh,
Yep.
Peyton Manning was 40, 41 when he went to, several Super
Eli's
Bowls the last
39
few
this
years.
year, I think.
Uh, Breeze is 40 this year. Rivers,
Rivers is
I think, is
39.
39, going to be 40 turning this year. It's more common now, and I
They're
felt
able to
like,
protect the quarterbacks more. That's why.
well, and people are getting back into the trend of we got to draft the big men early to protect the quarterback. You can't. It's easier. You got to get those guys, and I felt like this dude was just, no matter what I said, he wanted to be the guy that reported the demise of Aaron Rodgers first so that he could be, he's, and I don't mean to be mean, but he sounds like a 55 or 60-year-old guy that is sour grapes on Aaron Rodgers. He called him injury prone. And you know what? I'm sorry, but that's bogus. Breaking bones isn't being injury prone. When you have a broken leg and you play 16 games, you're not injury prone. Because if Aaron Rodgers is injury prone because he broke his collarbone twice, then Brett Favre was an injury nightmare.
He
Okay?
played with.
But he played.
He,
And you know what? If Favre would have broke his collarbone, he wouldn't have played. I'm sorry. Like, as much as I love him, that's the reality of it. Like,
Rodgers
all the
almost
other
came back to
shit.
beat the Panthers in that season when he broke his
Well,
collarbone in 17. He almost came back. He was only one touchdown away, and honestly, he was going to tie the game because the way he was throwing the ball, and he finally got back in his rhythm with 13 screws in his shoulder. I'm sorry. Geronimo Allison fumbled the ball on the 25-yard line with under a minute to go. They were possibly going to win that game, and if Geronimo hadn't fumbled it, Packers might have been in the playoffs that year with Rodgers in his shoulder. But it didn't work out that way. But because Geronimo fumbled the ball, I mean, it sucks, but he had to move on from it. Got it. But the thing is, he came back, like you said, played back with a broken leg. He 14, he played with two torn calf
yeah,
muscles,
and then the guy
one
brings
in
that
each
up,
leg,
like,
and he still went to an NFC Championship.
and he's injury prone. Well, no, again, like, if you're out on the field playing, whether you have an injury or not, you're not injury
He
prone.
had
You're playing the
major
game.
injuries.
Right.
He
And
had
so
major
then
injuries, and he still played with them.
and so then it's the demise of Aaron Rodgers. And I got news for all of you. And we've been pounding the table from day one about this. The national media is harped on Aaron Rodgers and him being done as a football player after last season, despite knowing that he had a broken leg. Unless you listen to NFL Network, all the other ones are using Aaron Rodgers as a hot take method to get clicks. If you want true news, I hate to say it, it's not you're not always going to like it, Packer fans, but at least it's coming from a place of actual intelligent analysis. You got to go to NFL Network. This I loved
I love
ESPN
NFL
for many
Network.
years, but they have turned into hot take news button sports news. I don't know if ESPN's going to last as a sportscasting network if they don't change.
NFL
They're going
Network
to lose.
has brought on so much talent as ex-players, and all the players they've brought on, 95% of them have either like won the big one or have had a successful career. That's
But they
the
don't
thing. Like
they don't mind actually, even if they don't like a team. Do you think it's easy for Nate Burleson to say anything positive about the Packers? Like, honestly, you know what
actually
I
he
mean?
did.
Like,
Hold on.
yeah, but
Actually, he did.
that's my
He
point.
did.
He does, and yet he
And
he
he's one of the
probably
hardest
hates
hitters
the
on the
Packers.
Packers. He
Well,
does,
I'm just
because of
saying.
the fact he said it all the time on Good Morning Monday Football. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
That's one of my biggest topics. I always talk about Nate Burleson. I respect his football IQ because he's one of the smartest dudes, but at the same time, he had to protect the pizza and he broke his arm doing it. So that's why I always hang back because he played for the Lions and the Vikings. Or not the Vikings, I'm sorry, the Lions and the Seahawks. But still, the thing is, he comes out, he shows respect when it's due. Like, I'm sorry, perfect example. After the draft, the next morning, Nate Burleson, he goes, I'm going to hate to say it because a lot of people thought this Aaron Rodgers era might be over. He goes, nope. He goes, after Brian Gutekunst in his second year has come out and nailed free agency and the draft back-to-back seasons and brought in talent to put around Aaron, and you're looking at him going to be playing until he's 40, 41 with Green Bay. Folks, that era is not over. It's still going to be happening. You're still going to see the boogeyman. And that's what he calls Aaron Rodgers, the boogeyman, because he's the person that will come back and haunt your dreams. As
Aaron
Jerry
was
Jones,
sacked more than any other
he owns the
quarterback last year.
AT&T Stadium.
Well, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Oh, and he still only had 2 interceptions that were tipped off of the overrated tight end's hands. It wasn't even thrown by him.
He broke Tom Brady and Nick Foles' best touchdown to interception ratio that they had set. So.
Yep. They weren't even on him. Jimmy Graham tipped both of them.
And so, yeah, I mean, Aaron, when he has time with because his mobility's still there. I mean, let's be clear. We watched him run the last 5-6 games of the year, and now we have to realize
he was running all the time
with a broken leg, and he still looked like he had some damn good wheels on a broken leg. Now that we know that his leg was broken, but
you remember throwing to Kumaro in the Jets game? He rolled out of the pocket on the move and threw on the bad leg and nailed a 75-yard touchdown.
You give Aaron Rodgers time like you had in 2014 when that offensive line was rated 1 or 2 as the best pass blocking offensive line in the game, and they were damn good at run blocking too, and they were damn near unstoppable. Let's be clear. If they don't screw up that whole onside kick thing, they're whooping the Patriots' ass that year. Russell Wilson.
I'll give him that.
Russell Wilson didn't have a great game that game, and I'm sorry, Aaron was hot.
He had 4 interceptions.
Well, you know what I mean. Aaron was hot. Like Aaron's. That was the fact that he had kind of a mediocre game that game, and that they're still that people forget that was a damn good defense, and they could run the ball and control the clock. Like, you know what I mean? Like people act like, oh, well, Aaron was just going against some scrubs. And he had these bad games against these defenses. His bad games are against some damn good. He had 177 yards in 2016 playing against that Denver defense that wrecked the league that year. And so it's not like, oh, he went down to Arizona, the Arizona game last year, and he only scored 3 points and had 77 yards, and they're the worst defensive ranked team in the league. It's like, no, he has bad games against elite defenses. Otherwise, he's either way above average for, the normal quarterback or having Aaron Rodgers' game. Like,
I remember in 09 when he faced the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and him and Ben combined for over 1,000 yards, 12, I think it was 11 or 12 TDs, and the Pittsburgh defense that year was
touchdown.
Well, that's the thing. That's what you get when you put freaking Mike Wallace, that was actually playing well in Pittsburgh, against Charlie Pepper.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's.
But still, Aaron went against the number 3 defense that game and put up 550 yards.
Now,
and 4 touchdowns.
We got a minute and 45 left, and I just want to touch on this. By no means do I think that Aaron is a perfect quarterback. I think Aaron ad-libs way too much. I think that there was a schism between him and McCarthy, and it caused a clear rift against what the team probably should have been doing.
Beginning of the 2014 championship.
And what was going on between those two and their stubbornness, and they're both had too big of an ego to be able to.
They're both alpha males. They wanted to leave.
They're both alpha, and they both admitted it on their way out the door. I mean, so we need to clear that up.
But they respect each other. That's the thing.
But Aaron's got a new coach and a new system that's going to challenge him. And when Aaron plays within the system, even as unfriendly as the McCarthy system
if there's a challenge for him, he will push himself.
He excels. And I believe that Aaron plays in the system. They make a smooth transition, and he is going to wreck the league. And I think that the defense is going to be a damn good defense. And you give Aaron Rodgers an extra couple possessions in a game, and I think if you look at stat up, I think
all day.
Well, I believe if Aaron is given 2 extra possessions a game, I think his win percentage is something like 95%. You know what I mean? Like with extra, it's just ridiculous.
How much time I got?
All right, go ahead. We got 18 seconds, real quick.
I'm going to say it right now. There's also another reason why Rodgers is going to be fired up. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder, or make the joke of 2 collarbones and chips on his shoulder, but nonetheless, he's still got a giant chip on his shoulder. Tyler Dunne, with that article, you just sealed
Go
the
Pack,
NFL's fate.
go!